If you love myths and ancient legends, don't forget to like this video. Leave a comment about which hero or story you'd like me to tell next, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any of our upcoming mythical journeys. Among the glittering constellations that crown the skies of ancient Greece, there lies a tale that continues to stir the hearts of humankind, the story of Prometheus, the brave titan who gifted humanity with its most sacred treasure, the fire of knowledge. In the dawn of the world, when the earth was still young, the sea still boiled, and the gods upon Mount Olympus had only just established order, mankind stumbled out of the shadows for the first time. They trembled in the cold, terrified of the dark and of the beasts that prowled unseen. Without fire, they could not keep warm, could not cook their food, could not forge metal, nor banish the endless night. They lived as lost creatures upon the vast earth, uncertain of their place in the universe. It was then that Prometheus, a titan with a heart of compassion, gazed down upon the mortal realm and pitied humankind. He was unlike most of the Olympian gods who reveled in their power and turned away from mortals. Prometheus saw their weakness, but also their potential to create, to understand, to love. And within the heart of that titan, a daring thought was kindled. He would bring to mankind the light, not only the light of fire, but the light of awareness, of freedom, of civilization. At that time, the world had just endured a great and terrible war, the Titanomachy, the clash between the elder titans and the new gods of Olympus. Zeus, lord of thunder, had overthrown his father Cronus and established the reign of the Olympians. Prometheus, though himself a titan, had wisely sided with Zeus during the war. He aided the thunder god with his cunning, and his counsel proved invaluable in securing victory for Olympus. For this, Prometheus was allowed to dwell among the new gods. Yet even as he sat among them, his thoughts often turned to the fragile mortals below, those small, forgotten beings struggling to survive in a world ruled by powers they could neither see nor comprehend. When Zeus laid down the new order, he divided existence into tiers, the gods above, mortals below, and beasts beneath all. Humanity possessed no fire, no tools, no skills to defend themselves. Each night they huddled in caves, staring at the lightning that flashed across the heavens, the weapon of Zeus himself, and they shivered in awe and fear. Many perished from cold, others were devoured by beasts. Prometheus, watching from afar, felt both sorrow and admiration. Within their helplessness, he saw a spark, the yearning to live, to learn, to rise beyond their limits. And he knew there was only one thing that could awaken that spark into flame: fire. Before gifting fire, Prometheus first became humanity's teacher. He walked among mortals disguised as a traveler, his feet tracing the soft earth, his eyes studying the scattered tribes that clung to life in valleys and on mountain slopes. He taught them to build shelters from branches, to strike stones together and make sparks, to hunt, to fish, to watch the stars and know the turning of seasons. Gradually, humankind began to understand that they were not helpless after all, that within them lay a natural power to learn, to create, to adapt, a power the gods had overlooked. Yet even with knowledge, the night still ruled them. Without fire, their efforts were fragile, their courage dim. Prometheus saw families shivering through storms, children dying from cold, and grief pierced his immortal heart. He knew Zeus kept fire for the gods alone, not merely as a tool, but as a symbol of divine dominion. Only gods could command it. Mortals were meant to crawl in darkness and submission. Prometheus could not accept this. In the silence of the night, he made a fateful decision. He would steal the sacred flame from Olympus and give it to humankind. Mount Olympus, the dwelling of the gods, was forbidden ground. Clouds wrapped around it like walls of smoke, and the thunder of Zeus echoed through the heavens whenever he was angered. There, in the forge of Hephaestus, the divine fire burned eternally, the source of all heavenly craft, the emblem of wisdom and might, belonging only to the gods. Prometheus knew that discovery would bring ruin, yet compassion burned brighter than fear. One night, as darkness veiled the peak and the gods feasted in revelry, Prometheus slipped silently into Hephaestus's forge. The hammers were still, and only the glow of the sacred flame danced upon the stone walls. Prometheus took a dry reed, touched it to the fire, and in that moment, light flared, pure and holy. He hid the ember inside the hollow reed, descended from Olympus through cloud and storm, racing against the fury of the skies. When his feet touched the earth, the mortals gathered around, astonished by the strange glow in his hands. Prometheus bent down, set a pile of wood aflame, and when the first sparks leapt up into the night, the world was reborn. Darkness fled, warmth spread, and the cries of joy echoed through the mountains. From that instant, humanity knew fire, the symbol of life, of civilization, of defiance against fate. At dawn, Zeus looked down from Olympus and saw something amiss. The sacred fire, the light meant only for the divine, now burned upon the mortal world. Smoke rose from countless villages. Fires blazed in valleys and forests. Humanity no longer trembled in the dark. They sang around the flames, forged iron into tools, built the first roofs over their heads. The sight, which should have been wondrous, enraged Zeus beyond measure. "Who has dared defy me?" thundered his voice, shaking heaven and earth. The gods fell silent, none dared speak. Only one gaze met Zeus's, calm, unflinching, that of Prometheus. He did not plead nor deny. Within him, the fire of mankind mattered more than any punishment the heavens could devise. Zeus knew at once. In fury he roared, "You, who have given divine power to mortal flesh, you shall learn the meaning of eternal torment." Lightning split the sky. From that moment the fate of Prometheus was sealed, a punishment without end. By Zeus's command, Prometheus was seized and taken to the distant mountains of Caucasus, where storms never ceased and the wind wailed like mourning souls. Hephaestus, though reluctant, obeyed. The smith god forged iron chains and nailed Prometheus to a massive rock. Each hammer strike echoed through the valley like a funeral bell for a fallen hero. But Zeus's wrath was not yet sated. He sent forth a great eagle, born of the sky itself, a living emblem of his dominion, to torment the Titan. Each morning, as the sun rose, the eagle descended and tore at Prometheus's flesh, devouring his liver. Yet Prometheus could not die, for he was immortal. His wound healed anew each night, only to be torn again with the dawn. Day after day, year upon year, he hung there, body shattered but eyes still alight, the gaze of one who had sacrificed himself for humankind. They say that on moonlit nights, if you listen to the wind through the Caucasus peaks, you can still hear faint cries mingled with soft laughter, for even in his agony Prometheus smiled, knowing that humans now possessed the light. The fire he had stolen still burned, defying Zeus's thunder, undimmed by the fury of the heavens. Centuries passed. While Prometheus languished in chains, humankind flourished. They forged iron, built homes, sailed oceans, lit fires to guide them through the night and to warm each other's hearts. The flame of Prometheus had carried them out of the primeval dark, and even Zeus could not halt their ascent. Then one day, Heracles, the mighty hero, son of Zeus and a mortal woman, journeyed across the world. Passing through the Caucasus, he heard a strange sound, a wind that wept and laughed at once. There he saw Prometheus bound to the rock, divine blood glimmering in the sun, and above him the eagle of Zeus swooping to strike once more. Unable to bear the sight, Heracles raised his bow and loosed an arrow. It flew like a shaft of light, piercing the eagle's heart. The creature shrieked and vanished into the abyss. After countless ages of torment, Prometheus was free. Heracles broke the chains and lifted the Titan to his feet. Prometheus looked upon the young hero with both admiration and gratitude, for though Heracles was Zeus's own son, he had chosen compassion over blind obedience. When Zeus learned of this, his anger had cooled. Perhaps even he understood that eternity had rendered his vengeance hollow. He allowed Prometheus his freedom, but decreed that he must wear a fragment of his chain forever, a reminder of his transgression. In time, mortals came to see that fragment not as a mark of sin, but as a symbol of sacrifice and unyielding defiance against destiny. From the day Prometheus was freed, his story was told through the generations. The ancient Greeks kept fire burning upon their altars, not only to honor the gods, but to remember the Titan who had dared defy Zeus to bring light to mankind. That flame endured for millennia, becoming the Olympic torch we still see today, a symbol of endurance, of striving beyond limits, of knowledge illuminating ignorance. People say that whenever a human mind discovers something new, whenever a great idea bursts into brilliance, the fire of Prometheus burns again within the heart. Fire is not only in the hearth, but in the mind, in courage, in the restless yearning for the stars. Though Prometheus no longer walks the earth, his spirit lives in every warmth of every flame, in the light of every lamp, in the burning of every star across the endless sky. And still, mankind wonders, was Prometheus a sinner or a hero? Perhaps he was both, for it is in the tension between defiance and devotion, punishment, and sacrifice, that his legend endures as an immortal symbol of rebellion for the sake of humankind. The tale of Prometheus is more than an ancient myth. It is a timeless reminder that knowledge, freedom, and civilization are never granted freely. They must be earned, often at great cost. Some flames can be kindled only through pain and sacrifice, yet because of them, humanity moves ever forward. So if you ever find yourself struggling against hardship, striving toward the light, remember this. Within each of us burns a spark of Prometheus, the fire of compassion, of wisdom, and of an undying will to rise. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like the video, share it to spread the light of Prometheus, and subscribe to the channel to continue exploring immortal myths from around the world.